It's been another big week for the lithium stocks, and today we're bringing to you your all-in-one lithium wrap, unpacking all the recent news and announcements for the broader sector. Last week we did a big wrap up for the lithium stock news, included some discussion surrounding Lake Resources, Sayona and Pilbara, but today we're doing a part 2. It was well requested, so sit back, enjoy, and welcome to the channel.
Sit back and enjoy.
Alrighty, so kickstarting us off, we're back with Pilbara Minerals, one of the bellwethers for the ASX Lithium stock sector. They've been a leading name, they're a current producer, and it's fascinating to see that they have their upcoming quarterly report advisory, because this is going to be one of the most hotly anticipated reports for the quarterlies, particularly with the cash flow generative nature of their operations at this current stage. They've obviously been leading the way. Their BMX auctions have attracted a lot of attention. They provided a sales and production update recently, which showed that they're at the top end of their guidance range. But I think a lot of investors will be watching this as a bit of an insight into how the broader lithium sector is performing. We know, building on this, that Pilbara had their BMX pre-auction last week, $7,000 a tonne. It continues rising and rising and rising. This is their 6th auction now. Each time it's incrementally grown. And it's going to be fascinating to see what their actual auction delivers. This was a pre-auction, so there'll be a lot of eyes on that. This is happening in this upcoming week now, in this next coming week. And then, of course, building on that, an FID. So Pilbara progressed their final investment decision to increase and upgrade their Pilgangoora production capacity. What's fascinating this is it speaks to the demand for the broader sector. 580,000 tonnes is significant already, but they're looking to continue to upgrade that. And it bodes well for near and medium term producers who are trying to come online and feed into this elevated demand opportunity. Of course, feeding into that is Allchem. ASX AKE is another leading lithium name. This was a market update that they provided in June, but it was interesting to get that further validation that yes, prices and demand for it is relatively strong. I think this quarterly report, along with PLS, is going to be one that attracts a lot of lithium stock investors' attentions. And then CXO, they were one of the most requested names on last week's lithium stock news, so we'll go back and revisit this announcement. They're giving their Finniss project development update. Of course, it's worth noting that ASX CXO is going to be one of the near-term lithium producers coming online in Australia as well, localised Tier 1 jurisdiction. They gave an update about the actual project development, but what attracted a lot of eyes, and will continue to attract a lot of eyes from ASX Lithium investors, is the Finniss reserve and resource upgrade, expected to be completed in the coming weeks. They've been taking a huge amount of drilling underway, significant number of drill assays, and they've all been received now. And so all eyes will be on what this resource and reserve upgrade looks like and what it means for the broader Core Lithium story. And then feeding into that, AVZ Minerals, we know they've been in extended voluntary suspension. It was re-extended at the 1st of July. But as we can see here, the 15th of July is this next potential date where we may get some more news. Who knows what will flow through, but this upcoming week does have the potential to provide some further insight. Or, of course, it may be further extended as they continue to navigate this uncertain period. And then Jindalee, turning our eyes to the North American region. We know there's been a big focus on the localization of supply chains there. We know the Defense Production Act was invoked for the critical minerals. Of course, lithium is one of those. Jindalee Resources have a leading project there, the McDermott Lithium Project, in a good location. And they have combined an indicated and inferred mineral resource now of 13.3 million tonnes LCE. They've been drilling, and they've finally provided this update recently. It's a solid grade as well. They've provided the insight that they're well funded to advance the development of the McDermott project now. Further drilling continuing to dig away, and metallurgical studies planned to see how they can bring that project online. Sticking in the region, sticking in the area, Ioneer. Ioneer will be flying the flag for ASX listed companies with a secondary listing now over on the Nasdaq. Provides the opportunity for North American investors to support the clean energy supply chain. They've commenced trading on the Nasdaq under an ADR listing. Key work streams progressing well, including additional lithium offtake, debt funding, detailed engineering, and federal permitting. And they're also in the final stages of documentation for 2 lithium offtake agreements that will ensure their Nevada-produced lithium is committed to the US EV supply chain. For anyone who knows the US locations of the gigafactories and the OEMs, Nevada is a hotspot. There's a lot of activity going on there, so it'll be fascinating to see which companies flow through. And just to get that visualized, this was a recent investor presentation that Ioneer provided. Additional lithium offtake, obviously US focused. They've highlighted there could be 2 there. US listing, that's been ticked off, that work stream. Funding, engineering, permitting, and environmental. It'll be interesting to see where Ioneer head from here. Another one in the US market region, Anson provided insights that they recently completed their resource definition drilling at Long Canyon number 2, confirming high pressures in the targeted Mississippian unit. So they completed drilling, and they followed that up with a quick announcement straight after that, just a couple of days after, that tests on the historic diamond core to fast track their JORC resource upgrade. So they'll be using historic diamond core from drilling into the target units at the Paradox Lithium project to determine porosity and specific yield. So obviously they're working towards continuing to develop this project, and so this was followed up. So we can see here on all kind of fronts, their drilling's going well. They're able to use historical diamond core, which is going to save them time, as well as capital costs and obviously resources. So it'll be fascinating to see what comes out of those sets of work that Anson Resources is progressing. Vulcan Energy, we talked about Vulcan Energy last week, ASX VUL. As mentioned, we talked about them getting that investment from Stellantis, a leading global automaker who's investing into the actual Vulcan Energy project. They've provided the quote that they understand that this is the world's first upstream investment in a listed lithium company by a top-tier automaker. So it's quite a milestone one, but they've had another piece of news this past week, that an agreement between Vulcan Energy and Enel Green Power to provide their geothermal energy. As we know that Vulcan already have a currently commercial geothermal energy unit, and so it'll be interesting to see how they go continuing to roll that out. Obviously it helps to supplement and feed into their broader aspirations with their lithium project too, but it's going to be very interesting to see because we know about the discussion surrounding the energy crisis in Europe right now and how Vulcan will be able to feed into those supply chains. If you're interested in the Vulcan story or any other lithium stock story, we've interviewed a range of different ASX Lithium CEOs over the past few weeks. You can check all of those out on the ASX Investor channel. We'll leave links to those after this one. And then talking about a near-term producer, Argosy Minerals provided this update. 90% of total development works now complete, moving towards Q3 calendar year 2022 for their Rincon production of lithium carbonate, which is an exciting time. Obviously, we know that they're working towards the 12,000 TPA, obviously looking towards approvals on that front. But this builds into the fact that they just announced that they've got resource expansion and production well drilling recommencing at Rincon. So as they move towards that 12,000 TPA, and obviously we know there's significant demand for lithium around the world, they're looking to increase project mine life and future annual production capacity. As you can see, there is plenty going on in the broader lithium space. If you've enjoyed these types of videos, plenty more to come. So make sure you've subscribed and turn your bell notifications on. We've just dropped and launched the For Investors channel as our second channel talking about all things markets. I'd love to know your thoughts on it all. Let us know, drop in a comment which lithium stocks have caught your eye, the broader EV battery material space, how are you perceiving it, and where do you think things evolve from here? A big thank you for joining us. It's an exciting sector. Hope you enjoyed the video. For now, stay well and happy investing.